Alright, guys. Let me tell you about a night I'll never forget. You know how sometimes you're just out and about, having a normal day, and then something happens that completely changes how you look at the world? Well, that happened to me at an amusement park. And trust me, it's one of those stories where I still question whether it was just my imagination or something much darker. So, here's the setup. I'd been at this amusement park with a couple of friends for the day. It was one of those classic places, full of roller coasters, games, and all that fun stuff. We were there pretty late, enjoying the rides, eating way too much cotton candy, and just having a good time. We didn't want the night to end, so we decided to stay until the park was closing. The park itself was really big, and it had this massive parking lot, like the kind of parking lot that felt endless. And as we were leaving, the crowd was thinning out. The park was almost completely empty, and it had that eerie post-closure vibe. Lights were dimming, and everything just felt quieter than usual. We were some of the last cars heading out. Now here's where it gets strange. We were all in my car, and we were heading toward the parking lot exit. But the lot was huge, right? So I wasn't exactly driving toward the main exit. I kind of took a shortcut through the less traveled section of the parking lot. There weren't a lot of cars around, just a few scattered ones, and we were joking around, talking about how it felt like we were the last people on Earth in that giant parking lot. Everything seemed fine at first. The parking lot was so empty that it almost felt like we were in some kind of weird horror movie. But we weren't worried. I mean, we were just a bunch of friends heading home, right? But then I noticed something. It was a car. At first, it was just a shape in the distance. I didn't think much of it. Just assumed it was some other person leaving late, like us. But as we got closer, I realized that this car wasn't like the others. It was parked off to the side, in a spot where no one would usually park, right next to a row of tall trees. The headlights of the car were on, but it wasn't moving, and it wasn't even facing the direction of the exit. It was facing the trees, with its engine off. Now here's where things started to feel a little off. We slowed down, trying to figure out what was going on. The car's headlights were casting an eerie glow over the trees, but the strange part was that the driver's side door was wide open. Not even a crack, it was fully open. For a second, I thought someone might be inside, maybe just resting, but there was no one in the driver's seat. No one around the car at all. I could see the car's interior in the dim light, and there was no movement. I'll admit, at that point, I started to feel uncomfortable. My friends were too busy talking to notice at first. But I kept looking at that car. Something about it felt wrong. The more I stared at it, the more unsettled I became. And then I saw something that made my stomach drop. There was a figure. Now, I'm not sure if it was the lighting or what, but for a second it looked like someone was standing right next to the car, just standing there, completely still, right next to the open door. The figure was facing away from us like they were staring out into the dark, past the trees. It didn't move. It didn't even seem to notice us. It was just there. I know this sounds crazy, but I swear to you, when I saw that figure, my entire body went cold. I didn't say anything at first because I thought maybe I was just being paranoid, but the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. And then I started to get that feeling. You know, the one where you just know something isn't right, like deep down you feel like you're in danger. I asked my friends, "Hey, do you guys see that?" They looked up and saw the car, but they didn't seem as freaked out as I was. One of them even made a joke about it, saying, maybe it's someone just enjoying the quiet, taking a nap. But I couldn't shake the feeling. I told them, no, something's off here. I don't know why, but I decided to drive a little closer, just to see if there was someone in the car, maybe someone who needed help. But as I got closer, the figure was gone. Gone. Just like that. No sign of them. I checked the area, but there was nothing. No movement. Just the eerie glow of the headlights and the emptiness of the parking lot. But the weird part was, as I kept looking at the car, it was almost like I could feel the air around me growing thicker. Like there was something pressing down on me, something that wasn't supposed to be there. I couldn't get out of there fast enough. So I hit the gas and we quickly drove out of the parking lot. My friends were still chatting and laughing, but I kept glancing in the rearview mirror. The whole time I kept expecting to see that car following us. I don't know why, but I thought it would pull out behind us and then I'd see that figure again. But nothing happened. We just kept driving, and I tried to forget about it. We made it back to my friend's place, and everyone got out of the car. But here's the thing. As I was getting out, I saw something on the windshield of my car. A handprint. It wasn't just any handprint, though. It was smeared like someone had pressed their palm against the glass from the outside, and it was fresh. I could tell because it was wet, almost like someone had just touched it. I stood there for a minute, staring at the handprint. I wasn't sure whether I should be freaked out or just brush it off, but honestly, I didn't know what to think. I wasn't going to go back to that parking lot to check. There was no way. The whole night felt off. That feeling, the one that had started when I first saw the car, never really left me. And to this day, I still don't know what I saw out there in that parking lot. Was it just my imagination playing tricks on me? Was it some kind of prank? Or was there something more sinister about that figure in that car? All I know is that I'll never go back to that amusement park parking lot at night again. And if you ever find yourself there, late, in the dark, with no one around, maybe you should think twice before getting too close to any car with its headlights on and its door wide open.